Okay, hi everybody. My name is Debbie Sherrick, and I am the owner of InsideOutWellnessCoach.com. I'm a holistic codependency coach. And today we're just going to do my friend Laura Bushbinder Hedges, because she's now married. Hi, Laura.
Hi, how are you?
Good. We're doing some virtual work today on the computer, and I said, I really want to do a little YouTube today, a little short YouTube, a little Google Hangout today, talking about not taking things personal. So we're just going to talk a few minutes about that. And I wanted to bring that up because it's something that so many of us do, and especially it's when we have those codependent behaviors and we're enmeshed in relationships where we take things personal and we react to what other people do and say. So yesterday, when I have a girlfriend who's a workout partner with me at the gym, and yesterday we were at the gym and we were talking about our family members, and nobody can push your buttons more than your family members, right? Laura, you have any family members that push your buttons?
Oh yeah, get me real good, right? Like that. Yeah.
Yeah, your family members are the ones that know you the best and know your triggers, right? Mm-hmm. So anyway, her and I were having this conversation about our sisters, because we grew up, this friend of mine who we work at, we grew up in high school together. And we've been friends for, I don't even want to say how many years and give away my age, but we've been friends for a lot of years, since we were 14 years old. And our sisters, who were a couple years younger than us, were good friends too. And so, my sister was one that really pushed my buttons and, did a lot of things, and growing up in my dysfunctional home that pushed my buttons, and her sister the same way. So I used to go through a lot of years. My sister has passed on now. I've shared the story about, she was one of my family members that overdosed and died from alcohol and drugs a few years ago. But her sister, we were talking about how we had to detach from family members at times, because sometimes when we're getting healthier and we're setting boundaries and we're learning to take care of ourselves, we don't want to be hooked into that drama or doing that dance with that family member or, friend or whoever it is again. So we have to set some boundaries and detach. So when they're doing things that really, upset us, we can take it personal and start really reacting. So what do you think, Laura? Let's talk about that. What's some of the ways that we can take it personal, or why do we take it personal?
Well, I think, just being sensitive to other people's emotions, and you just feel that guilt or responsibility, especially if it's a younger sister. You feel like, oh, how can I make this person act better? How can I separate myself from them? And I think it helps to kind of laugh it off sometimes. That's my new thing. Just, make a joke out of it and just turn the cheek and change the subject. That's my new way of dealing with that sometimes.
Yeah, well, that's a good way to handle it. Sometimes is not take it so serious and just kind of laugh it off. I think one of the reasons that we take it so personal is because we don't feel good enough sometimes about ourselves and our own empowerment, that when they are saying things or attacking us, I think some of the reasons we take it personal is because we believe it. There's a part of us inside that thinks it could be true, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think it's something we think consciously, but really when we really are walking in our strength and our confidence and empowerment, and we know who we are, we really know who we are, and we know that we're on the path we're supposed to be on. Not that we're perfect, but we are on the path, and we're doing the best we can in staying healthy, staying close to God, our higher power, and doing the best we can. And we're really starting to feel good about ourselves, because when you do start working on yourself and making changes, you start to really feel empowered and saying, God, I'm really starting to love myself. I'm really starting to feel good. So when we don't feel like that, and people say things or do things to hook us in or manipulate us, we can really get into taking it personal and thinking that it's about us. And again, that's kind of playing that victim, where we're the victim. Look what they're doing to us. Look how they're making me feel. Look at, thinking that if someone else's behavior would change, I wouldn't be feeling this way. So we have to really stop ourselves when we're doing that and say, whoa, 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 and kind of back off and say, wait a minute. Why am I, because it's really, when we react like that, it's really about us. Don't you think?
Yes, it's your responsibility to take responsibility for your feelings. And if someone's rubbing you the wrong way, you have to look in the mirror and really see why.
Yeah. And that's sometimes hard for us to do because we want to blame, we want to get into blame. And yeah, maybe their behavior is really wrong and really dysfunctional and toxic. It could be, but we're not responsible for their behavior, nor to get them to see it, nor to get to change it. We're responsible to how we react to that and how we handle ourselves in a healthy way. So when we find ourselves really taking things personal and overreacting to people's behavior, that's a red flag for us to say, wait a minute, I'm getting back into some old behavior where I'm giving my power away to this person. I'm plugging into their energy. I'm allowing them to rob my joy and my peace today. And that's my fault. That's my responsibility because no one can make me feel a certain way unless I give them permission to. So we have to step back from that and say, am I blaming this person for how I'm feeling? Am I saying that I would feel better if this person would just do this right, or this person would stop doing this, or if this person would just, act this certain way in our relationship, I would feel better. And that's the codependency. That's the behavior of that we give our power away to other people and expect them to act a certain way on the outside. So we don't take it personal. We feel good on the inside and we'll feel happy. When our growth is to realize, you know what, my happiness is about me. I'm responsible for that. I'm responsible for my boundaries. If I don't like the way a person's acting or treating me or talking to me, I need to take responsibility and say, what do I need to do to take care of myself and stop blaming them for doing that or for, making me feel a certain way. So you and I were talking before we started this about, we just said, what do we want to talk about today? And you brought up that you, in one of your yoga classes, we're talking about judging and having compassion. And I had the situation, that her and I were talking about at the gym about our family members and our sisters and how much they bugged us and how we take things personal. So why don't we go into now about judging and compassion?
Okay.
Because how do we, do that when we, separate, that we're not judging someone and we want to have compassion, but we want to be able to have compassion and also have our boundaries, because sometimes we can get so compassionate that we get sucked back in to that behavior and we're easily manipulated. So talk about that for a minute.
Right. So I think it comes back to your personal power center, your solar plexus chakra, your confidence center, where your belly button is, digestion. And if you allow other people to get in your space, then you can start to get sucked in and get judgmental of that person, and then maybe get even judgmental of yourself. So it's important to nourish your power center and go back to your confidence and compassion towards yourself. So once you have that, you can expand your light, expand your compassion to others. And then you can stop comparing yourself and judging other people because you know that you're confident where you are and that no one can shake you. No one can shake your power. And I always repeat the mantra in class, either peace, inhale peace, exhale power, or inhale compassion, exhale love. Just like little check-ins to go back to your power center and go back to your confidence. Yeah. And then you'll find that you're going to be less judgmental and less, you won't compare yourself to others. You'll be confident with yourself.
I love that. That's beautiful. I really, really like that.
Cool.
you know, and it all comes back to when you were talking about coming back to our center, our power center, our, you know, this chakra, this third chakra that is our empowerment center. You know, that's where we feel fear. That's where we feel intimidation. That's where we feel that we're losing control and that panic feeling. So when we remember that, you know, how I feel about myself, how I love and respect myself, how I take care of myself is solely upon me. It's not based on the condition of how other people treat me. You know, we talk about how we teach people how to treat us by what we allow. So we have to always remind ourselves and come back. We always need to come back to our center. Remember, you know, I can't make someone act a certain way or treat me a certain way. And I think where judgment comes in, if we can remember that, when we're judging someone and their behavior, what they're doing, if we can just come back, I always ask God, help me to have your eyes, help me to have your heart, your compassion, to see this person as a divine child of God, the way you see them, and that everyone is acting at their own level of awareness. Every one of us. It doesn't matter how really sick or ugly, you know, and mean someone's acting. They are in their level of awareness at that moment. And so sometimes as we get healthier, we expect people to act healthier towards us because we're getting healthier. And we have to remind ourselves that, wait a minute, they're acting at their own level of awareness. That's where they're at. Now, if I don't want to be in that energy field and be, suck that energy in or be a part of that energy, then it's my responsibility to set my boundaries of how much I want to interact with that person. But to not judge where they're at, but to send them light and love and to pray for them and to have compassion for the people. You know, no one sets out to hurt someone or to act ugly on purpose. You know, most of us are really, you know, kind, gentle people, goodwill people who don't purposely set out to say, I think I'm going to today see how bad I can hurt that person, or what ugly things I can say to that person to purposely hurt them and make them feel miserable. You know, hurting people hurt people, bottom line. So people that hurt us are hurting. And so we need to be able to have that compassion towards them. Now, that doesn't mean that because when we have compassion that we allow it, you know, and then we get manipulated because we're having compassion. And don't you think also, this would be something to talk about for a second. What do you think the difference is between feeling sorry for someone and pity and compassion?
Well, I think when you feel sorry for someone, you're losing yourself in that situation, in that person. So it's kind of like you're just going down to that low energy level and nothing will get solved. You just have a pity party.
Right.
You know? But if you have compassion towards that person, you stay in your personal power, you stay in love and light, and you know that they're suffering in some way. So you're finding compassion towards them instead of feeling sorry for them.
Mm-hmm. And I think one way that we can show compassion towards people is to just really detach from that behavior and pray for them. You know, there's a lot of power in prayer. And again, we go back to the serenity prayer with this, you know, not taking things personal. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Yes. So let's all, you know, in this little clip that we did today, let's really start trying to practice each day. And sometimes it's just an hour by hour thing as we go out into the world, you know, at work and with our loved ones, that we don't want to take things personal. Remember that everybody has their own agenda, problems and things they're dealing with, just like us. And when people are acting out like that, it's not really about us, it's about them. And so we need to detach from that, not take it personal, and try not to be judging and have more compassion towards them. And again, this is just a goal that we have that we want to try to get closer and closer to each day. So thanks, guys, for joining us today for this little clip. Thanks, Laura, for Spur the Moment.
Thank you.
I love you.
Love you too.
Thanks for joining the Empower Hour today. And you can learn more about the holistic codependency coaching and holistic coaching at InsideOutWellnessCoach.com. And Laura, our little energy worker yogi, is at yogabliss.com.
.info.
.info, yogabliss.info. Bye, guys. Have a great rest of the day.
Yes. Namaste.
Namaste.